So you can visit this link I have sent you, and we will start with chapter 3. So just join the live stream on YouTube and type your name and ID so I can mark your attendance also. And at the end of every 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I will also post your attendance on Teams so that you can see who was there in the class. If your name was not there by mistake or anything, you can let me know. Okay. So I'll move to YouTube live stream now. So we'll start the class. So today's class is about the chapter 3. It's about the spectatorship, power and knowledge, and we will see how the image attracts people and how like what was the formula that was created long time back to attract viewers, to attract people who the artist wants to wants to attract, and how they want to attract the people, and what was the method they used to attract people to see their paintings, their images. And then as the technology has been evolved, like the movies, the games and all those things, how they planned to attract the viewer. So we will see that, and then we will move to the power, and then we will move to the knowledge. So here we will cover half of the part, then half of the part we will do next class. So I'll just start in a bit. Let's wait for 2 more minutes, so I can have more attendance here. Then I'll start. Okay, so let's start. We invest images with power to incite emotions within us. And images are also elements within the power relations between human subjects and between individuals and institutions. Actually, when we see the images, we invest images with power. Like we see the images to gain a power of emotions, like to ignite different sort of emotions in ourselves. When we want to get happy, we look at like when we are like in a happy mood, we see images which are related to that mood. If we are sad, we see images related to that mood. If we want to entertain ourselves, we look at visuals related to our like moods. Like suppose if if I want to get entertained, if I want something like a thriller or something, so I will read a graphic novel with full of uh, action sort of images, and or I can watch an action movie. If my mood is to get scared, or if I'm in a mood to watch like a horror movie, so I will watch a horror movie. So we do have that need sometimes to like to have those kind of emotions in ourselves and to ignite those kind of emotions to moods. Now this chapter focuses away from reception to concept of address. So here we will not look at more on the reception to the concepts or of the address that we have. We will focus mainly on the like spectatorship, like how images can produce its own audience, and how a specific part of a group, like a specific group of people, specific community, you can say, of people can get attracted to a certain image. Here, as I said, this chapter focuses away from reception to concepts of address. Address here refers to the way that an image is construct certain responses from an idealized viewers. So whereas reception here is about the ways in which actual viewers respond. So let's move forward. Now, here the first thing we need to understand is the psychoanalytic theory. Now, what is a psychoanalytic theory? Psychoanalytic theory has addressed most directly the pleasure we derive from images and the relationship between our desires and our visual world. Just like I said, if you are in a mood to watch a horror movie, so you will watch a movie that can scare you, that have visuals to scare you. So once you will watch that, that was your mood, you will get the, like, a direct pleasure out of those kind of visuals which you are watching. Now, this is the psychoanalytical theory. Now, there is a theory which is spectatorship theory. Spectatorship theory emphasizes the role of psyche, particularly the unconscious desire and fantasy in the practice of looking. Sometimes you don't have any plan in your mind, but there is a plan hidden behind your mind, which is in your subconscious part of your mind. And when you're watching a movie, that part sparks, and you get what you were looking, like what you were not expecting directly, but it's just triggering your your mood. That is known as the spectatorship theory. So when psychoanalytical theory talks about spectator, it treats it as an ideal subject. So when both of these, psychoanalytical theory and spectatorship theory, uh, kind of collaborates with each other, it becomes it becomes an ideal subject. Now, for example, let's see some images here that can be a good example. Now, it can be said that particular films targeted towards specific categories of viewers during particular periods create an offer to their viewers an ideal subject position. Most of the people, they love to watch futuristic movies. So when they love to watch futuristic movie, they belongs to a particular like kind of category that involves those people who are more into movies such as Star Wars or Star Trek or Aliens or those kind of movies which are which shows the future. So here, if you will see this image from the Star Trek, who is the ideal spectator for Star Trek film? How can the ideal spectator be constructed? Now, how they are constructed, how this works? You just simply what do the people the the constructor of this image, the director of this show, the producer of this show, they have in their mind that they have to create a particular audience for it, and those audience will like this, they will become a diehard fan of this show, and later on they will be known as ideal spectator. So what is an ideal spectator? The person who falls for such categories, like any kind of, like, people who like the horror movies, they are the spectator, like ideal spectators for horror movies. People who like futuristic movie, they will be ideal spectator for that. So These are the categories of people, and they are known as the idle spectator. So there are a lot of things involved in it, like uh, continuation of the movies, like keep like releasing up to date movies related to that part, TV shows, and those kind of things. Now let's move to the other part. Okay, one more thing is that this chapter will be not too long, because I will stop at uh, like the panopticon, and which is one of the articles in in this chapter. So because that part you need to start fresh, so I will stop there before, and just I'm giving you a heads up that it will be not a long chapter today. Now the gaze as in real, like as in, if we talk about in regular English, a gaze means just to look at a, like something. Okay, to look at something. This is the gaze. This is the normal, like more like definition, the meaning of the gaze. Now, the concept of the gaze, if we talk about in visual culture, what gaze is, the concept of the gaze has been the focus of inquiry in both art history and film studies. Here, gaze is little different. It's not the same gaze as we talk about in regular English. In common parlance, to gaze is to look or stare, as I told you. In regular meanings, it is like to look at or to stare at something, often with eagerness or desire, like a child looking at an ice cream. Means like he wants that ice cream. He's keep on looking at it. You go to a shopping mall. You're doing window shopping. Basically, you have a you are kind of gazing upon those uh, goods, those clothes, those items which are in the shop with a desire. In psychoanalytical theory, or in the spectatorship like theory, what a gaze actually means. In psychoanalytical film criticism, the gaze is not the act of looking itself, but the viewing relationship characteristics of a particular set of social circumstances. Here, the gaze actually works as a predefined, a pre-planned method. People who produce movies, advertising agencies who creates images, advertisements, painters who paints the painting, anyone else of like photographer who takes the photograph, all of them, what they actually do is that when they are making a movie, when they're making a producing a film or creating an image, they have something in the mind that is, you can say, pre-planned. And what is the pre-planned? How people will be gazing, how you will make them to gaze on the image. So there is a complete uh, plan, and that plan is derived from the relationship with the social like circumstances. So the concept of the gaze is fundamentally about the relationship of pleasure and images. So this is what the producers have in their mind, that the gaze, if we talk about visual culture, it works with both two things: pleasure and images. How you will make images uh, like a product of pleasure. So this is what gaze means in the world of visual culture. In 1975, filmmaker and writer Laura Mulvey published an essay about a woman in classical Hollywood cinema. When Laura Mulvey wrote this essay, that was the high time where a woman were used as an object in the movie, to objectify them in the movie so they can gain more and more male audiences. So the way they were shown in the older times, it was a little different, but then afterwards, in uh, after like 70s, things started to change. uh, she argued that conventions of popular cinema are structured by a patriarchal unconscious positioning a woman represented in film as object of a male gaze. Just like I said, the objectified like the woman in the movies. Basically, their acting role was was getting shorter and shorter, and male roles were getting longer and longer. Female actresses were not anymore used as actresses as a lead role, rather than using them as an object to attract male audience. Her theory stated that the camera is used as a tool of attract like tool to attract male audience, disempowering those before its gaze. So camera was used to picture, or to, you can say, capture those female audiences, those female actresses, just to create an attraction for the male audiences. So that was something uh, which was true in 70s or late 60s cinema at that time. In the history of art, most of the collectors and primary viewers were men. If we talk about uh, Renaissance art movement, Baroque art movement, medieval art movement, most of the painting you will see were of a woman, and they were uh, created, like painted, just to attract male viewers, because at that time male viewers were more attracted towards the painting. Right now we have movies, we have cartoons, we have animation, advertisement. Things has become technological advanced. In terms of technology, we are in an advanced world where everything is now changed. But in older times, there were no movies or those things. People used to view paintings for entertainment purposes or for decoration purpose for their houses. But those not that easy to get, because paintings in older times were only for the elite class. So that's why in older times, to attract more male, or because males were the dominant, more dominant of that time. They were the rich, like rich people of that time. They could pay more money if they find it more attractive. So it's not 70s. This has been done like long time back. Like every time women were objectified just to attract male audiences. Today, now changing concept of the gaze, how the concepts of gaze is changing. Like today we are surrounded only on a daily basis by images of fashion models whose looks conform to a rigid set of normative codes about beauty. If you will see, now things are a little different. The beauty that was before is now completely changed what it is right now. People are not attracted to those uh, uh, like you can say uh, those kind of models which were used long time in medieval or Renaissance or Baroque art movement in 15th 14th centuries, which who were the models for the paintings. Now the models for the movie industry or advertising industry are changed. Their uh, normative codes of beauty is changed. So the traditional role of men and women are in upheaval, and the theoretical concept of the male gaze has been rethought. Now, gaze is there, it's still there from very long time, but the concept is been changing from time to time. Men were not attracted to are not attracted to female models like Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa was known as one of the famous models of that time when Leonardo da Vinci painted her. She was known as one of the most beautiful women. But now the meaning of that beauty, the concept of the beauty has been changed. So men are attracted more towards, you can say, uh, nowadays model. For example, if we talk about Bella Hadid, okay, so they are uh, like attracted to those kind of like women nowadays. The concept of regressive cinematic viewers who are encouraged to repress their identities and to identify with the screen has been replaced by a broader set of models about the multiplicity of gazes and looks that mediate power between viewers and objects of the gaze. So in the cinema also things has been changed, and the identities to identify the female who are on the screen of the screen has been changed as well. So this is how things being reproduced from the older times to the newer times. Let's see discourse, the gaze and the other. Now image can both exert power and act as instruments of power. We have so far we have seen the image can exert power, but now we will see that image can also act as instruments of power. French philosopher Michael Foucault uses the term discourse. Discourse, he used this term to describe a group of statements which provides a means for talking about a particular topic at a particular historical movement, moment. For Foucault, discourse is a body of knowledge that both defines and limits what can be said about something. Which like discourse is some sort of a like a kind of set of knowledge which have like definitions as a group of definition about something. Now that group of definitions means like it's not in a one definition, it's more like more than one definitions. So that means more than one definition means if we look at something that it might be different for a viewer or like from viewer to viewer. Different viewers will look at things, look at something different, and some other viewers will look at those images differently. Photography has been central in the functioning of discourses since the 19th century. Photographs have been deployed as a means of categorization in order to distinguish the normal and abnormal according to the discourses of a particular time. Now, if you see at this, look at this image, it was taken, I think, I'm not sure the date, but from the black and white, it looks like it's a pretty old when the colored cameras were not invented yet, or the color photography was not common. It's a photograph of a Native American. Now, so images holds power the way they are produced, but at the same time image when it is shown in a specific environment like exhibition, or you can say in a museum, or at a particular time, so that the meaning of the image actually changes. If I'm showing you an image of a Native American on the day of 4th of July, so the meaning will be completely changed. So this is not only related to an image itself, it's also related to the environment where the image is shown and a time on which at which the image is shown. Now, Foucault believed modern societies are structured on basic relationship of power and knowledge. Okay, so I'll just start with this one and I will stop at number 5 here. Okay, at this like slide. Okay, now modern society's power relations are structured to produce citizens who will actively participate in self-regulating behavior such as obeying laws, participating in social norms, and adhering to dominant social values. Now, certain kinds of knowledges are validated in our society through social institutions such as the press, the medical profession, and education, while other knowledges are discredited. You know the laws, you know the rules, you know everything because of its social values, and because you have been learning this from your childhood through the social institutions. Like you know how, when to stop the car. You have to stop the car at red on when your signal is red. You can cross it when the signal is green. You have to be ready when the signal is yellow. You all know this, and you all learned this from social institutions. Now, if you look at this like these images, who in these images are you most likely to believe? When you study things on like your or learn things from your environment, you give priority to certain group of people, and you trust certain group of people. For example, right now, just let's talk about one thing, like one image here. I have this image, okay? In this image, you have police, like cops, okay, arresting this guy. Now, as we know, cops are basically most trustworthy people, as we have learned from society. So, in this people, we will most like in this picture, like photograph, we are more likely to believe in the cops, okay, because this is how what we have learned from the our from our social institution. However, there could be something different here, okay? Maybe this image means something different, something else. Maybe this person is not being arrested. Maybe they are helping him with something. It could be like this reason, like this thing. So it can be like uh, like a, you can say, like a picture of arrest, or it can be picture of helping someone. Now here we will most likely like believe uh, like the doctor, here the lawyer. So that's like things will like go on just like this, because this is how we are learning through our society. Now for Foucault, modern power is not something that negates and represses so much as it is a force that produces knowledge and particular kinds of citizens and subjects. In order to function, the modern states need citizens who are willing to work, to fight in wars, and to reproduce, and have to healthy and capable bodies to do so. There are some ideal like citizens. Now, those ideal citizens are ideal for the country itself. And who are those ideal citizens? Those who are willing to work, fight in wars, reproduce, and are willing to have healthy and capable bodies. Now, why this seems to be more acceptable by any country? Because this is what we have learned from our social institutions. Now, nobody will like to have a rebellious, protesting person, because the social institutions do not promote those kind of citizens. So, if they do not do that, they become not the part of the like functioning like more like citizen that will help to the modern state to function. Now, if we talk about photography, like photography and images, and we take all these things that we have gone so far in these, let's put them now in images in visual culture. Now, photographic images are instrumental in the production of what Foucault called the docile body. of the modern state. Citizens who participates in the ideologies of the society through a desire to fit in and conform. Now, if in society I want to fit in, maybe I have to follow the trends, fashionable clothes. If I will go out wearing a bell-bottom jeans and 1960s t-shirt, I will rather look eccentric than being the up-to-date trending person. So to fit in the society, I have to follow the fashion of that time. To fit in the society, I have to follow those trends that people are following. I should have a like a touch screen like mobile phone. If I will have an old school Nokia like mobile phone, maybe I will not able to survive, because maybe people will ask me, uh, like, if you want to pay for this item, you should use benefit pay. And to pay through benefit pay, I cannot use the Nokia old school mobile phone, so I have to have a new mobile phone. So things actually changes, and to adopt those changes and to conform with those changes, we have to change ourselves, and we have to uh, fit ourselves in that society. We have to conform ourselves to that part. So this is basically how the you can say power and knowledge actually works here. In the image, if we talk about images become like an instrument at this time. For example, if you look at image of your favorite singer wearing something, you maybe wants to wear that thing because it has become trending. It became popular as the actor was or the singer was wearing it. So just like the makeup item, like in females, there are changes in makeup styles. So you cannot wear 1960s or 50s makeup right now. It will not look like the way it was in that time, because it will be not following the current state. So you learn those things from the visuals. So these are the things that uh, like uh, like give power through the image, like just like this images become powerful, and it produces the docile body, so that those bodies means that can oh, go through or like more like conformity. Okay, docile bodies are like a body is made out of clay. You can shape it the way you want. If you want it to be something 1950s, it can become 1950s, all 1950s style. You can change it to 2021 style, so it can be. So it will be like Latosal body is something that can be reshapable, but according to the time they are going through. So till here we will we will cover this chapter. Next is the topic which is known as the like the panopticon. So we will learn about the panopticon, like the panopticism, in the next class. So far, is there any question regarding this chapter, or any question regarding the previous chapters or previous assignments? Anyone have that question? Is everything clear till now? Any question? Is everything clear? Okay, so I'll stopped here, and just to give you a recap, next class we will go through this chapter, which is known as the power, knowledge, and panopticals, like the panopticism, and we'll continue from here. And this is a different topic, panopticism, so that's why I want to stop it here. You have to start with the panopticism in the next class. Power, knowledge we have already like finished. Okay, so next we will move to the panopticism. Okay, so continue with your assignments. I will check the other like the previous assignment once I will have it, because I'm waiting for more students to submit. Uh, and make sure, because the deadline is over, but I'm still giving you a little bit grace time. So submit in that time. Otherwise, you will have more and more assignments. There will be high chances of losing grades. So you can just go back, check the assignments, the first assignment which if you're missing it, you can complete that. Finish the second assignment as well. You have still time to do that, but make sure the first is completed. Okay, so we'll meet in the next class, and take care. Have a nice weekend, everyone.